My name is Hannu Verkasalo. I'm one of the founders of Zokem. We built the company in 2007. We just conducted and finished an exit, so we are nowadays Arbitron Mobile. The company has been operating in Finland and we will continue doing so with a base in Paris and New York as well.
So, Hannu, can you give us a Zokem's elevator pitch?
Sure, happy to do that. Mobile is the biggest mass medium of the world, eventually. It's already becoming one. What Zokem is doing is to measure holistically what people do with smartphones. All the applications you use, the internet websites you access, everything that you do with the smartphone. We have built the panels and we reliably collect from each market information about this and make it into an actionable form for advertisers to understand where to advertise and how. At the same time, we brought the data for application developers and carriers for benchmarking purposes. So effectively, we give and we build the feedback loop for the market back to advertisers or back to the service providers.
Did you have to raise funding to be able to pay for this?
Yes, we had in the end of the day, and we today have 25 employees. So yeah, we had to raise cash. So not all of those were working for free. Some of them were for some time, including myself for some years. But we raised funding. There were basically two more significant rounds. First, it was only the management putting in some seed investments to get some R&D projects off the ground. So this happened 3 years ago. And then April 2010, which is about 1.5 years ago, we raised another VC round, another round of funding where we also had a VC participating, and it was actually Finland from Finland. Yeah, it would have been impossible to grow to this extent without external funding. So I think it was necessary. It accelerated everything, and at the end of the day, one of the key things for our exit was the speed to market. We were the first company successfully operating in this field. We changed the model slightly so that besides the mega panel approach, we started building coordinated panels where we effectively ask people to install this research application with a smartphone and we pay money for that. So you might get an invitation, an email, we're asking you to install the application with the phone. In return you'll get $50 a year or $50 a half a year or something like that as return, as compensation. You install the application, you don't have to do anything. We passively meter what you do with the phone, and then we, in an anonymous fashion, we monetize on that data. So anyways, we have been building coordinated panels over the last couple of years, more so than mega panels. And this effectively was a good idea because it was able to guarantee that we can collect some data if we just put some investment into the panel. But that was how we initially were able to build reliable research products that we can sell to the advertisers, for example. So technology-wise, nothing has changed. Concept-wise, nothing has changed. Just how we operate the data collection has been changing over the years. We didn't originally expect that we need such a high amount of investments into operations as well. Operations meaning managing customers, managing projects, project managers, people managing panels. All of that was a kind of, not a surprise completely, but it was a thing that into which we needed to invest quite significantly last winter when we had more than 20 customers at the same time, so we really needed to invest into those kind of people. Originally we thought that it's more like the R&D guys, the sales guys, then the basic back-end support like HR, finance, but effectively we ended up creating also, besides R&D and sales, we created a third small team with support operations. So that was a kind of surprise, and we needed to invest a little bit of money on that one.
How big was this operations team then?
Well, at the moment we are operating about 5 to 6 people operating projects.
So it's basically a fourth of the company that you didn't expect would exist.
Well, that's the right way to say it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Interesting. Tell us a bit about your recent exit then. Were you bought or did you sell?
I would say that we were both. Why? Because we received the initial actions for this game from the buyer. So, as I told, we had multiple offers. So we kind of turned down first many of those with the board of directors. Eventually, we said to one of those that yes, let's go ahead, which was the one that we now closed. We were both. That's the right way to say. We didn't shop around. We didn't intentionally kind of build a round bidding among the potential buyers, but we went for the buyer. It kind of came to us.
Could you tell us a bit about the process of being bought?
It's quite interesting. It's kind of like raising funding. When you kind of go into the cycle that you want to do it, it takes lots of time. I mean, it's a huge DD, you know, even the fees of the lawyers can be easily like hundreds of thousands of euros. It can take multiple months. For us it took several months. The DD, where the buyer goes into the details of your team, technologies, sales funnel, how you generate money in the future, HR, legal things, everything. It's really precise, very kind of precise work, much more precise than in a round of funding. If you raise funding, the DD is lightweight. I would say that it's nothing compared to being bought. So the DD is really really extensive. At the same time, you can talk about the thing to anybody. I mean, typically you can talk about this to the employees. At the same time, you have to get employees to be part of the DD. So making all of that work, it's not easy, and sometimes, well, you don't have to lie, but you can't tell about everything to everybody. So it's really behind the doors kind of activities, and so anyway, so it's a long process. It's like raising funding, and then when and if you get the final proposal that okay, fine, the DD sort of green lights based on this assumptions, this business plan, this is the valuation we give to you, this is a long-term plan, this is how we want to operate the company. At that time, the really hard work starts with the legal documentation. I mean, the share purchase agreement, all the hundreds of those appendixes and other documents you need to kind of finalize. It can take some more time, like it took over the last 2 months to kind of finish that work, and the last 2 weeks, basically 20 hours a day, kind of work for the key team on both sides, including the lawyers. So it's really extensive and hard work. Even for smaller companies like ourselves, it can be a pain. Well, of course, if you decide to go down that path, of course you should be committed and you should be happy about that. So that of course gives you some energy to go forward. Yeah, it's hard.
And so now that that you've gone through the hard process, is it so? From my understanding, Zokem is continuing as itself, just sort of integrating some of its operations into Arbitron, then, or?
What was Zokem earlier? It's now Arbitron Mobile. So yes, we continue with the current team and the current products, the current partners, current customers. So the intention is really to go forward with the current plan. So of course there will be changes here and there, and certain things that we need to reevaluate. But yeah, the intention and the idea is to really go ahead as we did earlier. So the intention is really to go forward with the current plan. So of course there will be changes here and there, and certain things that we need to reevaluate. But yeah, the intention and the idea is to really go ahead as we did earlier. So Arbitron didn't have earlier a mobile division, so we became one. So it's a good slot for all of us. So we really are able to create and contribute significantly in terms of our mobile and international expertise.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.